Hi, in this video we are going to go through a really unique feature of StorageCraft's file backup and recovery software package, which is the intelligent configuration rules engine. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the dashboard. And one of the most difficult parts about a file level backup and recovery solution is the configuration, the setup of the solution, determining what should back up and what shouldn't back up. And in particular, taking that configuration and trying to scale it across hundreds or even thousands of computers. It can be extremely cumbersome for a service provider to do that. So with this solution, we've done a lot of the heavy lifting for our partners. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Backup Configurations here. And when this loads up, what any partner who comes into their portal is going to see is they will see what we call a standard configuration. Now, by default, every partner, when they get their login credentials, is going to get an auto-generated standard configuration. But you can create as many standard configurations as you would like. Now, we are very careful not to call these templates. They're very, very different than a template. Templates generally mean that it's something you use at setup, but after setup, there's not a whole lot of use in that template. Our standard configurations are living, breathing configurations, meaning that even if you have 100 of these deployed into the world or 1,000 of these deployed out to the world, if you come in and change your standard configuration rule sets, any computer or system using that standard configuration will get updated automatically without you having to go remote into the computer, schedule time with somebody to interrupt your end user's day. These configurations are living and breathing and will continue to be that way into the future. So I'm going to go ahead and click on View Edit and take a look at what a standard configuration is. So within the configuration, it determines everything that has to do with what backs up and what doesn't back up. The configuration also controls when the backup scans run, meaning what time of the day that the backup scans will fire off. And you can also control bandwidth throttling and the revisioning, how many revisions of each file you want to keep. What you're going to see when you come into the standard configuration is we break it up into really three main groups of rules. And rules, again, determine what backs up and doesn't back up. We're going to have backup subject to excludes. Really, really important is exclude from backup. Again, this whole concept of not all data is equal means that in some situations we want to avoid backing up certain files. For example, antivirus software or temporary internet files, things like that. This is stuff that is just wasting storage, wasting bandwidth, adds no value to the end user in terms of backing that data up. There's no reason to do it. Then the third category is backup always. As you can imagine, any rule in this group is going to back up regardless of any other previous rules that have been set. So let's just take a really quick look at what a backup or excludes rule is. Now, what you're going to notice in your standard configuration is that there are a whole bunch of what we call STC or StorageCraft master rules. Now, master rules are curated by StorageCraft for our partners, meaning we've gone ahead and done a ton of the heavy lifting for our partners and created a bunch of backup and excludes rules for you. Now, as long as you're using these master rule sets here, if down the road, let's say Microsoft comes out with a brand new version of the Word file, instead of .docs with an X at the end, it's .docs17. What we're going to do at StorageCraft is we're going to update our master rule set to include that file extension, and any partner who's using that master rule set is going to inherit those changes, and any computers that you have out in the world that are using that rule set will automatically get updated. So again, we're trying to take a lot of the heavy lifting off to help you better scale a solution like this. Now, if we actually click into what types of rules have we already generated, you're going to see we have file extension rules. You're going to notice a whole bunch of really common file types like Excel, QuickBooks and Quicken, documents, PowerPoint, Outlook Explorer. All of these things are going to be in here. Now, if I go back here, you're going to see all your master rule sets here, but you can also create your own rules. So if I go in here, you can create rules of all types. So let's say I want to create a new rule. You can do file paths. You can do file extensions. You can do specific file names. You can even do file attributes, meaning maybe files under a certain capacity or a certain size, files of a certain type that are less than 50 megabytes, for example, or files that are modified before or after a certain date. You can even do composite rules. So you could, again, do file extension. Let's say I want to back up all WAV files as long as they're less than 50 megabytes. So you can get really, really advanced with how you generate these rules. I'm not going to go ahead and do it right now, but it's a really, really great feature of our intelligent rule engine. So again, the rules determine what backs up, what doesn't back up, and then also the configuration determines how many revisions of each file. Really great feature of this software package is that you can keep multiple revisions of files. Backup algorithm, you can actually control whether or not you're keeping a differential backup, which is obviously great for minimizing bandwidth, or you can keep full backups of every single file. Every time it changes, you can take a full backup of it. You can also change again, the configuration schedule. So if I click on this page here, part of the configuration is when the backup scan runs, by default at 6 p.m. But you can also control the bandwidth usage by day. So again, a really powerful feature. So just kind of rewinding here, the intelligent configuration engine here, or rules engine, is a really unique part of this solution. Again, it's intended to take a lot of the heavy lifting off of our partners in terms of how to go about configuring a file level backup and recovery solution. It also scales well because it is a living, breathing engine that you can change with a couple clicks here on your portal and automatically update potentially thousands of computers all at once. Again, it helps our partners really scale this solution out to support their entire user base. Thank you.